Andersonville. We ask that at all times everybody stay in the roped off area. So at this time we're going to go ahead and get started. Gunner, commence firing. Now, here's like a few. Now that was actually a half charge. Had we been firing the full charge in the projectile, the gun would have rolled back a little bit, and it would have been even louder than what you heard. Well, again, let me welcome you to Andersonville National Historic Site. Now what we have here in front of you is called a gun detachment. We simply have our cannon and a limber. The limber is an ammunition chest on the two-wheeled cart. Now the way all this moves is you use 6 horses to pull it all together when it's hitched up. Now, here at Andersonville, though, we're not going to be looking at big battlefields. We're not going to be looking at two sides marching shoulder to shoulder against each other, because that happens somewhere else. Here, the cannons are very different. Here, the cannons are used for 2 main purposes: to guard the prison itself and to guard the prisoner. As you drive around here, when you see all of these earthen berms, these fortifications, all around the perimeter of the stockade, if you notice, say these ones right here, these are in a V pointing out. They are here to defend the prison in case of an attack. And as you drive around, you see 2 different types of cannon. You're going to see a cannon that has a green barrel. The barrel's green because it's bronze, and when it sits out in the weather, it gets something called patina on it. And if you look inside of that cannon, it's smooth, and it shoots a round cannonball. Now, you could have one of these that's solid. You could have one that explodes. You could have one that explodes and has shrapnel in it. And this is going to be one of your more common cannonballs of the Civil War. Now, it fires about a mile. It's kind of like throwing a basketball. It's large, but you got to chuck it out there. Now, the black barreled cannons, like the one we're firing today, they're black because they're made out of iron. And that's the cannon we're firing today, it shoots a pointy cannonball. Now, this one, you could have the same kind as the other one, except this one comes out spinning like a football. Well, spinning means that it goes farther. This cannonball can go 3 miles. Now, so you've got these guns in this place, possibly that could fire 3 miles. Here's the problem. I can't see that far. All of this would have been cleared out. There would have been no woods this close to the prison. We don't want to have a place where the prisoners can hide if they escape. If we need to defend the prison, we need to be able to shoot out into the distance, so we don't want the enemy to be able to hide, the Union to be able to hide. And additionally, they're going to use the lumber around here to either build the prison, the stockade itself, or for firewood for the soldiers. So none of these trees would have been here. Now, so we're, up here, we'd be defending out. And in 1864, Sherman is moving south into Georgia, and things are getting a little nervous down down here at Andersonville. Because as Sherman keeps moving deeper and deeper here, the fear is that he's going to send some cavalry, those are the guys who ride the horses, send them here to liberate the prison. But the main role, because we're not going to have to ever defend the prison from here, the main role of the artillery, you can see it up there at the Star Fort. The Star Fort's a neat position. It's got those V's pointed out. But if you'll notice the cannons that we have up in the Star Fort, they're not pointed out. They're pointed in. Those cannons are there in case there is a general uprising of the prison population. We can fire into the prison itself. It's high enough up so you can get over the stockade, and you literally could sweep most of this hillside up here coming from the swamp up. And what they'd be firing is this right here. This is called canister. And canister is nothing but a tin can packed full of iron balls. This is a shotgun shell for the cannon. And so with that, the soldiers, they're going to be marched in. The prisoners just below where the exit road is. They're going to see cannons up here. They're going to see cannons up at the Star Fort. They're going to march through where the guards are. Kind of takes your hope away, doesn't it? Especially the hope of escaping, because remember, many of these soldiers who are going to be prisoners are veteran troops. They've been through some of the worst battles that the American Civil War has to offer. They know the effectiveness of this artillery. And there is never going to be a massive uprising of the prison. One, because of the artillery. Two, also, because of just the general condition of the soldiers themselves. They are in such poor health. And between bad food and disease, there's never going to be a chance to rise up and force the gates. There was one instance where, there was a chance when there was a big flood, washed away part of the stockade. And from the Star Fort, they fired a couple rounds over the prison. One, to warn the prisoner, but two, to gather the guards, to tell the guards, get to the prison quickly, because there's a chance of escape. Now, the artillery that was here, the soldiers that were here, they are not frontline troops. These are not going to be your guys marching with the army all the time. These are going to be what we call home guard or militia. So they're going to need to train. Now, the soldiers, attention, detachment. The soldiers are going to drill day in and day out. And a lot of the soldiers here, they are going to have to learn on the move. Basically on the job training, so to speak. And so daily the artillery is going to drill. Now we've got to have somebody in charge of this crew. The person who's in charge of it, he's called the gunner. He's going to ensure the safe loading and firing of the weapon. Everybody below him has a number and a job that they must do, so they got to work as a team to load and fire this gun. First at the right front we have number one. Number one, he's going to do something called sponging and ramming. It cleans out the sparks from when you fired, and then he rams everything down in the gun. Across from him, we have number two. Number two is going to load the cannon. He puts everything in the front. Back on the behind the wheel to the right, we have number three. Number three, he's going to do something called thumbing the vent. He's going to cover that little hole at the back of the gun to keep sparks from being flared up in there. He's also going to help aim and help prime the gun. The person who's going to shoot the gun is number four. Number four, his job is to actually fire the gun. Now, we do not use a length of fuse that goes a torch, or in Clint Eastwood's case, a cigar to fire this gun. They had learned hundreds of years before the war. Flame, gunpowder, not a good combination. So by the Civil War, they used a T-shaped device called a friction primer. All it is a sparking device that's attached to a rope. So when you pull that rope, which we call a lanyard, that is fired. Behind the gun, we have number five. He's going to take ammunition from the limber up to the gun. And then back at the limber, we have number six. He's going to be preparing the ammunition. So this is basically your usual cannon crew. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go through the drill. We are not shooting. We're just going to go through the drill so you can see what it takes to load and fire this gun. So at this time, gunner, drill your detachment in the school of the peace. Half-second fuse. All right, so the gunner is called for an exploding projectile. Number 1 steps in, starts sponging. He's cleaning out the spark. Number 3 is thumbing the vent. Number 5 has gone back to get the ammunition from the number 6 man, and the gunner's going to be aiming the gun. Now he has to be able to see his target. So he's going to either raise or lower the gun with a screw at the back, or aim it right or left to traverse it. So number 5 gets up to the number 2 man, number 2 takes out the powder bag, places it in the gun, number 1 rams it. Takes 2 rams to move the gun. Once he gets the powder bag in, he's going to put the projectile in. Number 1 rams that. As number 1 steps clear, number 3 is going to go back and help aiming the gun. When the gunner raises his hands, that means the piece is sighted the way you want. And now for the command ready. 3 and 4 step in. 3 pokes a hole in the powder bag. Use a little bit. Stretches that little rope out. Fire. A cannon is fired. A good gun crew was expected to do 3 shots a minute. That's why these soldiers would have to drill, and drill constantly. Now at this time we are going to fire one more time. If you just joined us, the cannon is loud, so if you hear the gunner give the command ready, you may want to cover your ears, and we ask that everybody stay right here in the roped off area. Gunner, commence firing! Canister, look! Give these guys a hand. They've done a great job here today. Now, before you leave, a couple quick things. While it's great to be out here, looking at the cannon firing, I gotta admit, I love shooting cannon. The real story of Andersonville is not out here. It's in there. It is inside the stockade, learning about the prisoners, learning about the suffering of American soldiers. Additionally, go inside to the museum. If you don't go into the museum and learn about the POW experience, you have missed the point of Andersonville National Historic Site, because that museum is there not to commemorate just here, but all American soldiers who have been prisoners of war and given, well, what Abraham Lincoln would say would be the last full measure of devotion. So the least we could do is go listen to their stories in that museum. So if you've got any questions, I'll be around for the next few minutes. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending our program, and have a great day here at Andersonville National Historic.